Tonight, somewhere in your home, you will turn off a light. And for a moment, just a moment, something in you will not like it. You're an adult. You know the room. You walked through it 100 times today. Nothing changed when the light went out, except everything. The dark is the oldest fear we have. It arrives before language, before memory, before you can even name it. And here's what makes it strange. The darkness cannot hurt you. It has no teeth. It's not even a thing. It's the absence of a thing. So what exactly are you afraid of? By the end of this, you'll know, and you'll understand why this fear is not a weakness. It's the smartest thing your brain ever built. Try this. Walk across a lit room and you don't think at all. Now picture the same room with the lights off. The same furniture, the same distance, the same floor. Suddenly, every step is a decision. Nothing about the room changed, only your information did. That's the secret hiding in plain sight. You are not afraid of darkness, you are afraid of not knowing. Darkness simply deletes your most trusted sense and leaves the space wide open for your imagination to fill. Watch people walking home at night. Under streetlights, they talk, they laugh, they spread out. The moment the lights end, the group tightens, voices drop, heads turn. Same street, same people, just less information. And an animal that cannot see has one very old problem. For almost all of human history, night was genuinely dangerous. No electricity, no locks worth the name, just a fire, a circle of people, and beyond that circle, total blackness in every direction. Think about what that darkness held. Animals that hunt at night see far better than we do. In daylight, we had every advantage. Sharp eyes, distance vision, a whole world of color. At night, we lost all of it, and they didn't. So night flipped the rules. The confident daytime species became the vulnerable one. That is why every camp needed someone awake at the edge of the light. Someone watching the dark while everyone else slept. For thousands of generations, the people who felt uneasy at nightfall were the ones who woke up in the morning. Your brain still runs their software. Here's how that software works, and it's beautifully ruthless. Imagine you're in a dark room and you hear a sound. It's almost certainly the house settling. But your brain doesn't calculate probability, it calculates cost. Option 1, assume it's nothing. If you're right, you saved a little energy. If you're wrong, you're dead. Option 2, assume it's a threat. If you're right, you survive. If you're wrong, you were scared for 10 seconds over a floorboard. Run those numbers and the answer is obvious. 1,000 false alarms are cheaper than one missed threat. Scientists call this the smoke detector principle. Your smoke alarm screams at burnt toast, not because it's stupid, but because the cost of missing a real fire is unacceptable. Your fear of the dark is that alarm, and it would rather be wrong 1,000 times than silent once. But the alarm needs something to point at. So your brain does something extraordinary. It fills the empty space itself. In darkness, your eyes send back almost nothing. Vague shapes, no edges, no detail. And your brain refuses to accept a blank. It takes those fragments and completes the picture using the most important thing it knows. What could be dangerous? That's why the coat on the chair becomes a standing figure. Why the door frame becomes a shoulder. Why the curtain becomes someone breathing. You are not imagining things randomly. You are watching your visual system do its job, guessing, with almost no information to guess from. And when a guess might save your life, your brain always guesses in the direction of threat. Then you switch on the light, and the intruder becomes a jacket, which explains something every parent has seen. Children are far more afraid of the dark than adults, and it is not because they are weak. It's because of what they don't yet have. A child's memory of the room is not solid. Their sense of what is possible is still forming. And critically, the part of the brain that talks the alarm down, the calm voice that says, "It's only a coat," is one of the last parts to finish developing. So a child gets the full-strength alarm, with none of the brakes. That's why the hallway light matters, why the door stays open, why one adult sitting on the edge of the bed changes everything. It doesn't remove the darkness, it removes the uncertainty. And a nightlight works for exactly the same reason. It gives the brain enough information to stop inventing. Now here's a detail almost nobody notices. When your sight fails, your hearing doesn't just continue, it gets promoted. Your brain reallocates attention to whatever sense is still working. In the dark, sounds you have ignored your entire life suddenly arrive at full volume. The floor cooling and contracting, the tap dripping, the clock, the wind pushing a window. Nothing new is happening in that house. Those sounds were always there. You just never had a reason to listen. And every one of them now goes to a brain that has no picture to explain them with. A creak in daylight is a creak. A creak in the dark is a question. So you freeze, you hold your breath, and your whole body becomes an antenna. That reflex is thousands of years old, and tonight it will work perfectly over a floorboard.
So can you switch it off?
Not the alarm itself, that part is permanent, but you can starve it of what it feeds on. And what it feeds on is missing information. Watch what actually happens when you turn on a light. The fear doesn't fade slowly, it vanishes instantly. Not because light is magic, but because in that half second, your brain finally gets data and the guessing stops. So do that on purpose. When a sound scares you in the dark, name it. Say what it probably was: the floor, the pipes, the wind. Naming it hands your brain an answer, and an answer is what it was screaming for. Look at the thing, walk to the window, check the room once, deliberately, then stop checking. And here's the strange gift in this. The more darkness you actually face, the quieter the alarm becomes. Your brain updates. It learns this place is safe. Avoid the dark, and the alarm stays loud forever. Walk into it, and it slowly turns itself down. Which brings us to the last thing, and it changes how the whole story ends. So the next time it happens, the light goes off and something tightens in your chest, try to see it differently. That feeling is not a flaw in you. It is a system tested over an unimaginable stretch of time that has exactly one instruction. Keep this one alive until morning. It runs when you don't need it because it cannot afford to sleep. It shouts about coats and curtains because the one time it isn't shouting might matter. And notice what happens at dawn. The light returns, the shapes resolve, the room becomes ordinary, and the fear simply lets go. It never wanted to stay. It was only ever waiting for information. The dark was never the enemy, the not knowing was. And the same mind that fills the darkness with monsters is the one that fills the unknown with questions.